welcome to On the Mic with the M.
Auntie.
Today we're going to have a conversation about teenage relationships and teenage violence in dating world. You want? I'll let you start on that.
Okay. So ultimately, we're going to just explore what's pretty much happening and what can start happening as early as our middle schools that we see. What's the age of middle school? I'm going to say about 13, maybe
Probably
even
younger than
12
yeah. I think
nowadays.
12.
'Cause I think we're starting in our area at the sixth grade age.
Mm-hmm.
So sixth grade all the way to 12th grade and then into adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much the emotions that we see with children that kind of go out of control and the behaviors that not I don't want to just say it's on the males, but we're
Mm-hmm.
going to see most of the abuse and physical side of things really happening from the male side. There was a TV show
Mm-hmm.
that did a really great job at highlighting the teenage domestic violence,
Mm-hmm.
and that was Greenleaf.
Okay.
Um, the show kind of had the background of a mega church,
Mm-hmm.
but then it had all these amazing stories going on in the foreground.
Okay.
One of them was the situation between two of the pastor's kids.
Mm-hmm.
So you had neighboring churches, and the son from one church and the daughter from another church.
Mm-hmm.
And they decided to get together.
Okay.
And this is a fictional story, but I'm just highlighting the way that they portrayed the situation, right? It
Mm-hmm.
started off as a fairy tale. Um, Technically, both of these children came from affluent households,
Okay.
right? Um,
So
lot.
so we ain't dealing with someone living low income.
No,
Okay.
mm-mm. Very nice lifestyles.
Okay.
Um, Two parent households,
Wow.
um, grandparents in their life type of thing.
Wow.
So very stable foundations. And then spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
right? They would have come up inside a church. So still spiritually grounded.
Mm-hmm.
And you still had a young boy who might have always heard yeses in his life. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
he was spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
But you could see that he had a bit of a temper.
Mm-hmm.
And the result of the temper would be how he would take out physically his emotions on
Okay.
her
Wow.
self, right?
Okay.
And then we had to deal with how the father perceived what was happening and the mother, and then how they would have had to handle that.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of us can't even begin to like go into their kid's room and see their daughter with a bruise or two.
Oh.
And,
Oh.
because naturally you're going to assume that she got into a fight,
With
right?
another girl. You're
With
right.
another girl. You're darn right.
Yep.
Maybe she's getting bullied, but not to be in a love affair with your peer who is physically aggressive towards you. And
Yeah.
she was very much so like clinging to this guy.
Wow.
And the family really did fight to get those two to separate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was working one day and me and one of the guys was talking and he pretty much highlighted um, something that he thought, was kind of thought provoking to him, and that was the sense that the the abuse that we speaking of, right, or
Mm-hmm.
the actions with the physical side of things, right, that men or boys show is really stemming from a lack of being able to control their emotions.
Yes.
And this is him speaking from this guy, speaking from his own personal journey,
Mm-hmm.
right? From his own personal experience
Mm-hmm.
and what he could basically sum it up to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to assume he created or got to this summation through his journey as he himself said, I got to do the work
Mm-hmm.
to do some, get some change for himself.
Exactly.
Because you can assume that the guy who is this aggressive or has allowed himself to get to this point, he's not happy.
Oh hell no.
you know,
Oh
I don't
no.
care how old you are, right?
No.
Whenever we're angry, upset, aggressively hurting something or someone,
Mm-hmm.
we ourselves are at a point of hurt, right?
Yes.
So there
Yes.
is a lot of emotions, more than just a bit,
No,
right?
it's a lot.
There's a lot of emotions that's going on to play
Yep.
within ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and especially within the aggressor, before an actual like hit or attack actually
Yes.
happens.
It just don't. You don't automatically jump to punching.
No.
It's a progression, and especially for men. For men in all societies, your emotions are frowned upon. So when you're looking at a young man, and you hear it all the time, see the movies, men don't cry, men don't show emotion, suck it up, you're in pain, mask the pain, but don't show it. All that's telling you be not human. We're all human. But in society, if you cry or you show emotion, you must be soft, you must be this, you must be that. No, you're human. But you have to change the mindset. You have to start dealing with boys like you deal with like with the girls. You have to deal with the emotional part. All men have emotion. So I don't want people think, oh well, no, man, no, women are this. Everyone has emotion. Everyone has logic. Men are just taught not to deal with your emotions, just to suppress it. But in suppressing it, it just manifests itself in different ways. So if I
Right.
can't express it to you, if I can't tell you about it, then as you're young, you just do kind of violent outbursts, because that's the only way you can know. If I touch somebody,
I
then
mean, some of them aren't so violent, right? If you're suppressing emotions as a boy, sometimes you have outlets as like wrestling or you play sports,
play
right?
sports to get
You
that
have
out.
all of that, yeah, aggression, and you take it out into an arena that is healthy, right?
Yes.
But you also can take it out in spaces that just aren't healthy,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Exactly. You have to
Yeah.
release it because
It has to be
it has
released.
to be released. You can't keep pushing it down, because what happens is we're talking about teenagers, but that teenager grows up being an adult, and
Yes.
now he's not going to have sports anymore. He got to work.
Yes.
So
Yes.
now that emotion that you used to keep out there when you're playing basketball, football, track, whatever, you don't have anymore, because now you're a working, functioning adult. So now all you really have is drinking, alcohol,
Devices from today.
devices, all that
Yeah.
to suppress how you feel, because that's all you have right now. You never really know how to manage your feelings. You just try to suppress it again using another suppressor, as in alcohol and drugs.
So are you saying that women are given more tools to understand and manage and deal with their emotions than men are?
Without question, yes. And when a woman gets emotional, everyone says, okay, she's going through some things. And there's help for you. It's like, how do you handle your emotions? Because again, you're emotional across the board. It's that time of the month, you're emotional.
You had to run to the time of the month, though. Yeah, I just feel like you ran there. I mean,
I'm sorry. That's the go-to. It's like, that time of the month, y'all crazy as hell.
you know
That
your
time of the month.
emotions are at its highest there.
High and crazy
True that,
shit.
though.
And then not to mention, if you're going through some things, physical changes, and then all that's emotional. So you know how to handle it. You talk to other women who deal with it. Girl, I did this, and this.
Yes.
Guys don't have that.
Okay,
We don't
that's
have
fair.
a way to deal with that. Ain't no guy going to call to another guy and say, man, you know what? I think my heart broke, man. She broke my heart. Can we talk about it? You should be like, yeah, man, I went through that too, man. That's what I did. But you ain't going to have that conversation. You be like, damn, I'm heartbroken like hell. But I'm going to keep this in. I'm a man. I'm going to
You
suck it up.
normally go to the girls. You normally go to like a female cousin or the girls, that you never really date, but you call them like your best friend type of girls. Hopefully. But you're right. A lot of them just won't.
They
Because
won't.
they not even, if you're socially awkward even, you don't
Yes.
really have that little group of females that you kind of, know that you can kind of pick up the phone and feel like they're not going to spread your business
There
all
you
around
go.
the place.
'Cause you don't want to know. You don't want everybody to know your business. And
Yeah.
then sometimes you're like, you know what? I should know better. Because I went through this before. I'm going through it again. What the hell's wrong with me?
Yeah.
And I want to keep going back to her. She goes, like, what's wrong with you? Didn't I
Yeah.
talk about that the last one? You still had the
Yeah.
same problem? What the hell are you
Yeah.
doing?
But most of us still be having the same problem.
Yes, we do have the same problem. We're always going to have that same problem. But it's like how to deal with it. And as men, we just don't get the opportunity to express that to anyone. Because you go to your uncles, something like that, growing up, if I had an emotional issue, I was looking at you, boy. You gotta suck that shit up. So what you going through? Like, man, you gonna go through a whole lot of heartache. Now, from them, it's like, get over it. But you're young. You just got your heart broken for the first time. You're like, okay, I hear you, but how do I get over this?
Yeah, you don't quite understand what they mean when they say with that quick get over, right? Because they're
Yes.
basically telling you get over it quick.
Yeah.
But you don't actually know what to do to get over it. You're still stuck on point A.
What are the
Yeah.
steps to getting over it?
Yes.
You know, if you change an oil filter, you know, I get into the car, I pump the car up, I take it out, make sure that the little thing is off it, and I put the new one on. Those are steps to changing your oil and your oil filter.
Right.
When your heart gets broken the first time, there's no, we don't have any steps
Okay.
that you need to do. Like, you know,
There's no coping mechanisms that men naturally have.
Exactly.
So we find ways to cope, and like you said, it could be something very passive. And think about it: there are guys who improve their lives by being in pain. You end up in relationships, you break your heart, you're sad. You know what you end up doing? You go to the gym because you want to make yourself feel better. You start working out. All of a sudden, you're getting the weight. Now you got a better body than when you left. And so now you're hitting the gym hard. Now it's like, oh man, you're jacked now, bro. I was like, yeah, man, she hurt me, and I was like, man, let me get in the gym. And all of a sudden, you found some way to cope. And so what ends up happening is, I feel like as a man, the first time you find a way to cope with something, that becomes your go-to moving forward. So if you find coping in working out, then every time you end up in a relationship that doesn't work out, you end up in a situation that doesn't work out, you cope by going to the gym. But if your first decision to learn how to cope is to smoke or to drink or to fight, then that becomes your coping mechanism whenever you feel bad. Because for us, like you said, we try to find our own coping mechanism to move forward, as all people do.
Yes.
Some women find it in going as retail therapy.
Well, we're more so guided
Yeah.
into how to cope, right? You're kind of in the house and you're wearing your heart on your sleeve, and your mother say, "Girl, what's wrong with you? We
Yep.
going to the mall." Your mother
Yep.
would get you up and tell you, "Let's go." Or your sister would come in your room and be like, y'all broke up, didn't y'all?
Yep, exactly. Yep.
I know you ain't tripping over him." Yeah, and they'll sit there and just talk to you. So you'll find therapy in just conversation. Or, you know, maybe it's late night and you're soaking around the house, or you're stomping and you got an attitude, and, you know, somebody passing by says, "Oh, what's wrong with you?" And
Yep.
throw you a bowl of ice cream. Like, you know, let's sit
Exactly.
down and watch a movie, because sometimes you just need to relax yourself and just find a little bit of peace to kind of get your thoughts in order. But I think y'all are right in the sense that women are a little bit more guided in how to deal with their emotions. Because definitely we're allowed to have our emotions at the forefront of who we are, right?
You
It's
are
normal.
allowed to. It's a
Yeah.
normal. Women and emotions go together like apple and peanut butter. You know, it's like, oh yeah, or peanut butter and jelly. So you are allowed to have that.
Yeah.
When men start to say, oh, you know, I got emotional issues and things to deal with, we're looked at soft.
And moody, because it's overwhelming
Oh,
to us.
Yes,
You're
like,
like,
what? Oh,
he
are you
moody
going through this shit again?
Yeah, you're acting like a female now.
It's okay. What you
Yeah.
just said.
That's
if a woman
it.
tells a guy, "Oh, you have a female," so the guy is gonna say, "Oh, I ain't no female. I'm strong. I'm a boy.
Yeah.
I'm a male. I'm a man." So now that makes him even become more of an introvert.
Absolutely.
Because now I gotta bury that. I can't have
And
that.
you want to teach your next generation better than.
Yes.
So you really try to instill, don't show too much emotion, because the woman doesn't necessarily know how to respond to that,
No. because
right?
it's
The
new to
rest of
them.
society doesn't necessarily know how to respond to that.
No, and society looks down at that
Mm-hmm.
because again, you're a man. You're supposed to suck it up. You're supposed to accept everything. You're supposed to, you know,
You're supposed to lead. You're supposed to be stronger than everybody else.
gotta be
Yeah.
stronger. But reality is, we're all humans.
Absolutely.
And if you don't deal with how to cope when you're little, it just manifests itself in a more dangerous way as you get older.
Right.
And then you start to lash out, which you go into before. If I say something to a young lady, if I'm dating her and I don't like what she said, or she giving me some attitude and she give me some oomph, I could, one, yell at her. I could to start to put my hands on her, not beating her, but shaking her or doing something, put my hands on her. Which right there, if you feel yourself have to reach out and touch someone to get them to hear you or to show them you're dominant, you're already fucked up. You're already going down a dangerous road, which is going to end very, very bad for both one or both of you.
Because it's ultimately we're going to evolve into our future selves, right?
Yes.
And what you started doing today isn't going to stay what you're doing in 10 years,
No, it
right? It's always going to grow into something bigger. And you hope that your bigger is something that's great, right?
Yes.
You hope that you have something that's going to work for you and to your advantage as opposed to something that's going to work against you.
Exactly.
And so if your coping mechanism through life, was something that's positive, it's going to keep growing.
Yes, it
And
will.
it's going to continue to be positive, and you're going to continue to see positive outcomes. But if your coping mechanism is something negative, right? Even something as basic as just raising your voice,
Yes.
right, to control a situation. As you evolve, that negative coping mechanism is going to get bigger. And it's going to start to, give you a disservice, act as a disservice towards you.
Yes.
And you're not going to be very happy in life or throughout
God,
life
no.
as you try to kind of, maneuver.
Oh, your life is going to be full of a lot of pain and really a lot of unnecessary pain, but you're going to inflict it on yourself because of your decisions.
Yes.
And how you deal with certain things. And again, this is the reason why men die early. We don't get a chance to deal with emotionally what's going on inside of us. We don't go to the doctors. We don't, if we have a pain, it'll be all right. Just drink some, apple cider vinegar, maybe that'll take care of it. And then next you know, it's like, oh, this pain really getting me. And now you got stage 4 cancer, which you could have avoided had you, in the very beginning, you had issues with your stomach, your bowels, and whatever. You said, let me go to the doctor. But no, I'm good. I'm a man. I'm
You
good.
could have figured out how to manage your health in a positive way, right? Because what you're
Exactly.
supposed to have done was minimally visit your doctor's office at least once a year.
At least get a physical.
Yeah.
At least check it out, see what's going on.
Yeah, just a minimum.
But
And if
again,
that was your practice, right, as you got older, right, that once a year visit would have been second nature. And so
Hell
if you
yeah.
feel something or felt something, you'd be like, oh, I'm going to call my guy up. Because now this doctor is more than just your doctor. It's the man you've been seeing him for all your health concerns for the last 10, 15 years.
Yes.
So it's like it's nothing. I'm going to
Yes.
call, you can darn near call the doctor by his first name at this
Exactly.
point, right?
Yeah.
And so it's nothing for you to pick up the phone and call and just have something small checked out because you're used to this, right? And this is
Used to.
kind of what the point that you've evolved to.
Yes.
And so you would have a better chance of detecting or seeing something, early before it got out of control. Versus if
Exactly.
you started off and you felt like, no, I just ignore stuff.
It'll
And
be
then
all right.
ignore stuff. It's going to continue to be all right, right? And then
Yeah.
just keep on ignoring it until it what? Till it ain't all right, right?
There you go. Same thing with health, with relationships. The moment you start to, as you learn as a child how to relate to certain, cope as a male, how to cope with certain things, and then you get into something with relationships are totally different. I mean, it's one thing, football, basketball, sports is one thing, but women, y'all are completely different animal, completely different subject. And if you're not really, you don't know how to handle that emotional part of it, because it is emotional. Because again,
Yeah.
it's weird because you get to a point where you're 9 or 10, 8 or 9, and you hit the girls. You just want to choke them out. You want to tackle them and everything.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing going to your head.
Yeah.
But puberty starts to kick in, and the girl you used to want to hit last year, this year you came back to school, you don't want to hit her. You just want to touch her.
Yeah.
You don't know why you want to touch her, but I just want to touch her.
I just want to feel it.
I want to feel it.
Yeah.
'Cause but my emotions, my hormones are kicking in. So no, that's new. Because how do I deal with this? And then you got this young lady who you're looking at, and she's cute and she's smiling at you. She's dealing with stuff, but she has people to talk to about how she feels. Like, hey, I'm feeling this guy. I see this guy.
Yes.
She talked to her aunties. She talked to her mama. She talked to whoever.
She'll even talk to her peers.
Her peers.
Like actually about how she's feeling. Versus the guys appear to be social at a young age, right? And they are. You guys get together and you guys shoot the basketball and y'all make jokes and y'all might, roll around and wrestle and,
Yes.
there's be a lot of them,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
No, ain't nothing social about y'all. Y'all ain't said nothing about nothing that counts about anything.
No.
How many
See,
times
y'all-
you know a story and you ain't know none of the details? Hey man, I was talking to my man the other day and he was saying something about this girl he was talking to. Oh, what's you know somebody else? What's their name?
I don't know.
I don't know. You know, home. You know, still homeboy. You
They
know,
talk, but they don't really talk
No.
when they get together.
Nope.
Like, man, we played basketball for 4 hours. What y'all talk about? No, we played basketball for 4 hours.
Yeah.
See, if we get together, be like, oh, we went out to brunch and then we
See.
went out hanging out. In other words, we only went to brunch to talk.
Exactly.
Everything
Exactly.
we only had. So as a teenager, right? What we doing? We having a slumber party. We getting together. We going to the movies.
There you go.
We're only going to the movies to have that time in the car to talk, to walk around the mall to talk.
Yes.
Everything that we're doing is ultimately to talk, and not to talk
Yes.
about nothing. We're talking about everything.
That is
Yeah.
so damn true.
Yeah.
It's so true. So you start to feed off each other. You start wherever a particular person lack, somebody else says, "Oh, I never thought about that."
Or where you messed up at. I
Yes.
know because you told me.
Yes.
Like, no, that didn't work out that how I thought it was going to work out, girl. And
Yeah.
so you, you can choose to do the same thing and see how it works out for you. But, you can maneuver a little bit different now because you know different.
Exactly.
Whereas guys can technically all do the same dumb thing because nobody knew and nobody told each other. And it just is what it is. Y'all can all be in the same circle, but it's like, you did that too? You didn't tell me. That was my bad.
Exactly. And that's how, we roll because, again, the one thing guys they're going to talk about is if they this is one honey I was trying to holler at and it didn't work out. We're not going to really have that conversation per se because we always want to say, man, I locked her down. What happened to the little shorty who was yelling at me? I locked her down, man. I hit it.
Wow.
And because, again, you don't want to say, yeah, I didn't get a chance to get it. They're like, you didn't get
So
it.
y'all don't talk about the heartache.
No.
The fact that he didn't call me back.
We try to impress each other.
Nah.
We try to make sure everybody
Nah.
impressed. So if my boy hit something, he gonna hit something. Okay, here's 5 dudes. Your boy over here said, man, I got that.
Lied.
Second one over here. Oh, I got such and such. Third guy. Oh man, I did too. It comes to you. You're gonna obviously say I got something because you're
Yeah.
not gonna say, nah, man, I ain't getting
So
nothing.
4 out of 5 lied.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Because the one dude who really got it,
Yeah.
it was all right.
Yeah.
We're cool.
Yeah.
Because he don't want to get into all the stuff that he don't want to do it.
Yeah.
The other ones just want to save face. Like, ooh, hopefully I work next time. I can get that. I can get it. But you're not gonna come out there and say that. No, we ain't none of us getting nothing.
And I'm gonna speak for the other fellas out here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, speak for the other fellas. I'll produce.
So we, on the other hand, my peoples, y'all know who you are, bro. I know y'all watching this shit. We talk. We gonna keep it a beat because as I've always said to them, we can't move forward if we don't work together. You know what I mean?
saying.
You literally cannot. So like, we'll have a conversation where 1 minute it's like, oh man, we're just talking about innocuous stuff. We might be talking about anime. We might be talking about basketball. We might be talking about something else. But I always make it a point to say, like, bro, if something's on your heart, say it. Because at the end of the day, why are you holding on to it? If I'm as cool with you as you say we are, if you're sitting here wanting to invite me to your wedding, if you're sitting here saying, man, you my brother, then you should feel also comfortable enough to say to me, man, I'm hurt. If you can tell me, man, I got this job promotion, or I got this new girl in my life, or I got I'm about to get married, or I'm thinking about having a kid, or I'm gonna buy a dog. If you have enough to speak to me about the moments in your life that are positive, how can you not speak to me about the moments that are negative? How am I your brother?
Yes.
How are you my brother and my friend? Like my deep friend. And I can't speak to you about matters of my heart.
That is, and let me tell you, that's the beauty of y'all generation is you can have that conversation. You can talk to each other, whether it's good or bad, and have a real conversation, which is something, from my group, you was still in that, you don't want to talk about your emotions.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what we're saying is happening.
Yes.
And if you saying that, we got someone that's out here real life sharing their emotions and feelings with each other, that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. That's what we want, ultimately us to get to, because that's definitely where the women are at.
Yes.
That's where we live at. That's
We're
our
not there.
level of normalcy. And the very idea that men don't feel comfortable to talk to each other, but like you said, show such camaraderie to each other, right? Man, fight go down in the bar, you jumping in. You
Everybody
gonna
jumping in.
ride for your boy, right?
Yes, we are.
But
We're
he don't
fighting.
know that you're hurting. Yeah,
No.
get on each other's level, because absolutely, if you invite me, to your child's christening or to you, to your wedding, but you don't tell me about your heartache, that's that is weird.
Yes.
And it doesn't make sense. Don't hold these things in, because ultimately, that's what's happening. We're just holding it in.
We are hearing this term toxic masculinity. And I'm hearing it a lot, guys are to this and to that. And really what it boils down to is men not truly dealing with their emotions. Mm-hmm. And, men should know this, men can't wear this, men can't this. Men, you should be able to run a country as if you're a king, run your kingdom, be able to have empathy for everybody who is in your kingdom, be able to whip ass when it's possible, when you have to whip ass, does not make you less than. It makes you a complete person. It makes you a complete human. Makes you a complete male.
Right.
But you can't have empathy. You can't. Yes, you can. You can. You have to understand both sides. You have to understand the good and the bad, the pain and the success. So if we understand all this, I can be a part of you. Now you don't feel uncomfortable. Because the problem is you feel uncomfortable. If you're around a group of guys and y'all don't really roll like that, sir, you're going to keep it to sports and women.
Yeah.
You're not going to talk about anything else.
Something that's real general.
General shit.
Yeah.
You're not going to talk about other things. Now, as you get older, other things, health issues kick in and stuff. You have that discussion. But for the most part, you keep it kind of like that. And so it's really kind of a bullshit ass relationship. You kind of, yeah.
And that's pretty much what Mackenzie's saying. These aren't bullshit events, life events.
No, these are real life
And you
events.
feel good enough and comfortable enough to invite me out, but we still technically are keeping up a bullshit relationship.
Waste of time.
There can be a 20-year relationship and you still don't know much about this person.
There's people I know the nicknames, know them damn near 40 years.
Yeah.
I don't know their real name to save their life. Somebody died and I was like, who the fuck is that? That's such and such. That's his real name? It's sad because that's how it is. You don't get that deep. And, you don't choose not to get that deep because you're like, hey, whatever. I know his
You
name,
just
whatever.
kind of knew the rules.
Exactly.
How we're going to maneuver this situation with these people. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Because we all
superficial.
men, yeah.
Everything's a superficial relationship,
Yeah.
and you don't really get deep like women.
Yeah.
When y'all get really deep.
And that's why we fall out so often with each other.
Yeah, y'all do.
We don't have, if we have, friends for long term, that's a good friend, right?
Yes.
Because generally we gonna get all into your business, right? Even down to the way that you parent, and it's sad to say, but we spoke about that before. Even down to the way that you parent. If I don't like the way
Yes.
your parenting style is, guess what? We're not friends technically. Like I make it say hey to you and goodbye to you, but if I don't like the way you parent, because I know, because we talk, right? And we going to get deep.
Yep.
Then guess what? I'm talking trash about her and I don't want to go to brunch with her no more. 'Cause
You're like,
she needs to step up her
we ain't no
parenting.
goddamn more. I'm
Yeah.
done with you. And that's understandable.
Can I put one in?
Oh, go ahead, man.
I would think that I would listen to what you were saying about how the men's. I don't really think men trust each other in deep conversation like that too.
That's very true.
And even I go to church. Sometimes we may have something called like manpower, but you still don't have that trust in any man. You know, I know women got trust in women, but men just do not have trust. They're giving them their heart. You know, tell them about this what's going on.
So we feel like that if we're too vulnerable with ourselves, that our information can be weaponized against us.
Wow.
I think it's the feeling is like that towards women also.
Really?
Yeah. So before I let my hair down with you, you in my circle, and you tried, trusted, and true.
Yeah, that's
So,
true. That's very
like,
true.
it's not like I'm not at no church gathering with 60 girls and telling all my business. I'm going to keep it superficial there. There's certain places where a superficial relationship is appropriate.
Yes.
But if these are 6 guys that you've known from the sandbox, you know, versus the 4 guys that you've met freshman year in high school, there's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
There's a time and place for a superficial relationship. But ultimately, when you get to calling somebody like your bro, and like that's my brother, and you inviting that guy over to your house, and y'all
Yes.
jumping in the same car together,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you okay with being liable for him as a passenger, because that's what's happening.
Yes.
That right? We got to
That's true.
understand as a teenager, right? You're creating relationships with people, and y'all inviting each other over into each other's homes.
Yes.
Y'all going out, hanging out together. Y'all ready to go to war together early.
Yes.
Don't get it twisted. You know, 2 16-year-olds and a 17-year-old out together, some pop off. Y'all better be manning up
There you
together.
go. We're going
You know, y'all buddied up early.
Yes.
You know, one person is the driver, your passenger. You liable for that man, sir.
There you go. You can't put everybody in your car.
Yes.
You won't put anybody, and anybody you feel that way about, they get in your car anyway.
Yeah, they're not, but we're saying that we're still having these superficial relationships with people who we're allowing, in.
Wow.
We're allowing
Yes.
them in,
Yes.
and it's like at some point, yes, a superficial relationship starts in the beginning, right? We don't give up everything in the
No.
beginning, but we do have to work to the point where the people that you keeping in your regular circle, you waking up in the morning, hey, let's go shoot some ball together. These people, your
Yes.
regulars, your
Yes.
fabulous 5, you gotta
Road
be able
dogs.
to be vulnerable with somebody.
Yeah, and you trust them.
Yeah.
As my boy Dre said, men don't have there's a lack of trust among ourselves, among us for whatever reasons, but we just don't trust. And some trust too damn much until he sold you down the river. Then man, well, you should stop trusting this goofy ass when he did this to you.
Yeah,
But
that's
some people
a
like-
level of judgment, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So then some people are like, oh, one and you done. So then you don't keep anybody along because everyone's gonna make some mistake, but you have to measure the degree of mistake. One thing, if somehow he left an open container in your car, like, man, why the fuck you didn't take that open container out your car? And you get pulled over, cops like, that's yours. No, my boy was in there with it, and okay. But if he stole your girl, or he did something like that, then you can't come back from that. Or if he did something that's gonna put me,
So y'all don't come back from stolen girls?
it depends.
Yeah, I
It depends.
figured it would
It all
depend. Yeah,
depends.
I figured.
if it's if it's somebody who if you weren't really invested, I'm gonna say emotionally invested, and you just try to hit it with it, hey, okay, you can get it, whatever.
Okay.
But don't let this be a chick you was thinking about wifey.
Okay.
Oh, she a wifey?
Yeah.
And then something went horribly wrong. Maybe we fucked up.
Okay.
Maybe I did something wrong. And she said, I'm bouncing. So now, you messed up. Your boy that's a good girl. I may have to ask you. I'm gonna say hell no. Cause again, I messed up down there. See you with her? Boy, we got problems.
I ain't saying shit. I know niggas just tell you they ain't gonna say shit.
Just gonna go over and holler at her.
That's you. That's your fault.
Yes, and let me tell you guys, you fuck up, there's always a guy waiting to pick up. Always. So don't look bad, your boy. Your boy gonna be like, I didn't do you messed up. She on the sideline saying, he messed my heart up. I'm a good guy. And plus you were dumb enough to tell him everything you did. He probably know all your dirt. So he already know I already know the shit.
Oh,
that
that's
he
the
did.
other reason why you can't trust.
Oh yeah.
Lord.
Yeah, that's the other part
that's
of it.
hard out here for y'all.
Yeah,
It's real
yeah.
hard.
It's like Vegas. But in this case,
Man.
you can't leave it in Vegas. It's
Yeah,
all
women,
over yet.
I don't want no man that you've already been with. See, that's what it is about women most of the time.
Okay.
At least in my circle.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're real serious. We don't even like each other's types. That's how crazy. That's Our trust is built from that. We're recognizing that we don't even like each other's types.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some like them
Didn't know
slim,
that.
some like them thick. Yeah.
Oh,
Some like them with a certain type of career. Others, yeah. It's hilarious when we realize what actually happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, and knowing for us, you know, in the beginning, you be just superficial. You know, it's about the look. It's all about the look.
Yeah, I like her.
All I can say to that is the little emoji where the mind is blown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Poof.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
That,
But I think that would sum it up. Yeah.
yeah. And you know, that's all we care about. You know, and then as you get older and you get a little bit more mature, then it starts to, you know, evolve. But, you know, but the initial part of it is just trying to deal with the emotional part, because we talk about violence because a lot of guys don't know how to deal with the emotion, and they lash out. And they'll start first with the voice, because that's the most obvious. You know, my voice is deeper, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to see what I can do to control the situation. And if you find yourself the voice don't work or may work for a little bit, and she doesn't say anything, give you any kickback, then you're going to say, the voice ain't working no more. So maybe I had to just touch her a little bit. Not hit you, but, you know, girl, you would watch your mouth. Maybe start cussing at you a little bit. See how that gets you.
Yeah. The evolution of the verbal situation, right? So we raised our voice. Now we're picking and choosing different words, right? Words that lash out at you.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
And I want to start to, you know, because I want to make you feel the pain I feel. Because, again, I don't know how to deal with my emotion.
Yes.
So I feel
And they're
bad.
yours.
My emotion.
Yeah.
Not yours.
Not mine.
My emotion.
Yeah.
Because, you know, right now,
Because I don't feel how you feeling. Straight up.
No.
I'm not sad, mad, angry, or whatever you're feeling. Guess who else is feeling like that? Nobody.
Nope, just me.
Just you.
Me. But goddamn, you're going to feel my pain.
Yeah, because that's what you're trying to do.
Yes.
That's the intent.
Got to feel my
That's the
goddamn pain.
intent.
If I'm crying, everybody going to cry in
Yeah.
this bitch.
Yeah.
Everybody.
No, make the song cry. That's what he said.
Yes, you're going to make the song cry. Everybody going to cry because it's some bullshit. And now I'm getting into this world. Now, if I start to like you, and I feel like, oh, man, you know, I'm starting to vibe with her. So now it's a possession thing. It's like, as I said before, a long time ago, man, my food, my car, my clothes, my woman.
Yeah.
It's a possession thing.
Yeah.
So now you're mine.
Yeah.
And we're gonna treat you as such. You know, so again, I'm gonna keep you in line. You know, I'm gonna have everybody just drive my damn car, wearing my shoes, or eat my food. Everybody gonna just be hot on my woman. So no, it's a control thing, goddamn it.
I think it's a control thing, but I also think it's something that we talked about for them it would be last week. Value.
Yes.
What men's value is what we possess. Our
Yes.
job, our looks.
Yes.
What we can afford.
Oh, so if I let her get away, I'm not valued as much because I don't
Exactly.
have one of my valuables.
Yeah, you're my
yeah.
you're my top shelf woman. You are you up there. So if you're up top, yeah, you know, if you 40 ounce down, you down here, I can find a 40 ounce anyway, but that Crown Royal, you know, that Johnny Walker Black, Glenn Levitt,
Top shelf, yeah.
girl, that's top shelf. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna treat you as top shelf, which means
You don't need too many people touching,
no,
talking.
no, touch what? No. I better not see a hand up there. Somebody gonna get fucked up.
Are you reaching?
You reaching up there?
Oh, you
I know you
reached
didn't.
for my drink. Wow.
I know you.
Yeah, don't even reach for my drink. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're 2020 Mag Dog drinking ass ain't up here reaching my goddamn Glenn Levitt.
Woo!
You better put your goddamn hands down there and get that
Yeah.
Mad Dog Negro.
Yeah,
What
pretty
you
much.
doing? So
Pretty much.
all of a sudden we got problems. And goddamn, you all of a sudden say, you know what? I won't be top shelf anymore. I want to be over here on somebody else's top shelf. Well, the hell you ain't. You're my top shelf. That's where you're going to stay at. Girl, you know how much I love you? Damn
Because
it.
you only got one on your top shelf.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know how much I love you? You up there. You coming down here, but you up there. So no, you ain't going nowhere. No, we're going to talk about this shit. And I'm going to tell you what you're going to feel like, how you're going to feel like. You're going to accept it too. You're going to say, girl, you know I love you. Girl, don't make me get ugly. Because now you're going to see the other side. Because now he's starting to feel like his possession about the
Yeah, because he was looking up there like, what if it is empty?
Oh,
He
what?
looking bad.
Who the hell been touching my damn? Oh, no, who the hell been
Yeah.
up my top shelf? I'm whipping somebody's ass. And I'm going to whip your ass if you allow them to take you down off the top shelf. So your ass going to get whipped. Because you should have known it was my damn hand. But you went up there and you lit the
That should have
partake-
known it wasn't your hand.
You
Yeah,
should have
pretty
known.
much.
And you
pretty
partake-
much.
You let them
pretty
pour
much.
some of that in that glass, some of that good stuff you got in the glass. You gotta be goddamn
For somebody
kidding.
else, yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Somebody else sampling my shit. Oh no! We got all hell gonna break loose. So now I start to think real crazy. So now I'm like, okay, I yelled at her. I yelled. I called her some names. I called out her name. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna have to grab her. I'm gonna show her how much I love you. Girl, you know I love you. Now these dudes gonna choke girls out, talking about the whole time they choke them out. Girl, you make me do this. You know I love you. Why you make me choke you out like this? First of all, you're like, motherfucker, you had to choke me. You ain't had to touch me.
How you gonna narrate the choking session out? How's that possible? That's what basically just. I've never seen nor heard anybody narrate a choking session.
Girl, you make me crying too. You can't make me. Girl, you make me choke me out like this. You know I love you.
Chokehold choke.
Chokehold, choke,
Wow.
back her head, choking out, and kiss on the
Wow.
forehead and everything. Girl, I still love you, David. I still love you, goddamn. You make me go kill you, girl. Don't make me do this to you. Chick like, what in the fuck happened?
Yeah,
I
because you
said-
snapped.
He done snapped. He done choked me out. I wake up. I'm on the floor. He done fix dinner with Rose talking about, baby, I'm waiting for you to
Done.
wake up.
Wow. Dead.
You sit on the floor like, what the hell? He fixed dinner?
Yeah.
Oh, God, he ain't that bad. He fixed dinner. And your neck all bruised up, face all bruised up, all choked up, mouth dry from laying in the floor.
So you gonna eat the
I'm
dinner?
going to eat the dinner because he fixed it. Got Rose and everything. Baby, you know I forgot.
No,
You know-
damn, I'm scared as hell.
Don't be scared. You know that. I just show you how much I love you. You know how much I love
Oh,
you.
my bad.
Girl, it took me 5 minutes to choke you out. I ain't want to choke you at all. But I want you to show you the real love. So now at that point, as a woman, you say, oh, shit, I need to get out of this situation. Because it's going to get worse.
Okay, but do we understand the real love part?
And it all depends on the young lady.
No, for the man.
Him, oh, no. He
For the
obviously don't.
man.
If you got to choke a woman out to show
For
them
the
your
man.
love, motherfucker, you need therapy, you need prayer, you need Jesus, Muhammad, all of them.
Nobody
because-
understands the real love part? Okay.
Because obviously he didn't learn what real love is.
Okay.
And his background is going to dictate how he reacts to certain things. Because again, if let's say he came from a background, his mom get beat up every time. I mean, he grew up, father wasn't there, or well, maybe it was his father. But all he saw every time something didn't happen right, mama was on the floor. Mama had ice pack over her eye. Mom was in there cooking with something with a knot on her forehead. To him, like, oh, that's normal. Because, my mama got her ass whipped. I love my mama. So if she had listened to my daddy, then maybe he wouldn't have beat her ass. So then, okay. That's what love is. If she don't do what I'm supposed to, I choke her out because I see my daddy do it. Because it's normal. It's dysfunctional as hell. But to him, as a child, it's normal because you see it. Listen, you go to your uncle's house. He choking your aunt out. You go to your brother's house if you got an older brother. He choking his girlfriend out. So you look around, you got a whole family of chokers. He choke he just choke everybody's
that up,
ass
man.
out. Does everybody
Yeah,
choke out?
this can't be normal.
So, for you,
Man.
like, everybody get choked out. Okay, wash your mouth. So now I know when I grow up, that's what happens. And then your father, if your father going through some bullshit, because again, your father could be somebody who got abused when he was growing up. That's his way of reacting. So again, he passed that curse down to you.
Right.
So now you don't know any better. So now you're a teenager. You found a little honey that you like. She may not be doing the things that you want her to do. So you're like, I made to choke out. You may try to yell at her first.
It's like the thing that's been impressed on you.
Exactly.
Right? It's almost like how when we speak about the kids who grow up in a single household and it's normalized when the mom is the breadwinner and the primary provider of the household, right? It's just been impressed upon you. Even though there's two income households that exist and there's a different lifestyle that exists, this is very normal to you, so you're okay with it.
Yes.
So in this situation, if you're lashing out and you're like falling basically victim to your own emotions, right? But it's kind of just like what you saw, right?
You saw it.
Yeah. Then it's okay. Then it's kind of justified. I think there's a lot of guys like that.
Yeah, and again, it's for them. All of a sudden, it's like you made me choke you. My emotions made me choke you out. I don't know how the hell that happens. Like I'm mad, but I need to choke you out because you made me mad.
But I wasn't mad.
No, you weren't mad.
I wasn't mad.
But I was mad.
Yeah, those are your own emotions.
But you can't deal with it.
Yeah,
'Cause
that
it's
you can't deal with.
I can't deal with it. And here's the other thing. There's sometimes women, and you know how, not you, but you know how women can be. Y'all can say some things to a man that will cut him down.
Oh no, me included. Darn
Oh,
that.
shit. Okay.
Yeah,
You
all
can-
women.
You can cut
All women can cut a man down
to a
to
point where
yeah.
that man is smelling blood out his nose.
Yeah,
And
you
all he
shouldn't.
want to do is slap your head, clean up, like a Pez
Yeah.
dispenser. Just want to slap your head, clean up in
My
the air.
cousin always says when we're speaking, she says, "You didn't say that, did you?" And be like, "No, I wanted to keep my friends." It's like it's certain words, it's certain phrases that you know can be reactory, right? To where you sending people, and for women, right? You know, it's certain things that you could say to a woman that's gonna hurt her, right?
Oh,
It's gonna
yes.
cut her deep.
Cut her
you
deep.
know, it's phrases you can cut deep. So I think all of us are capable of saying those. And when it's your person, you
yeah.
know those buttons to press
Yes.
to really get them over there. I used to watch my parents do it to each other growing up, and I used to just be baffled, like, you gonna press that man's button like that? Ma, stop! And she'd be like, shit. And then my father would come lashing right back at me, like, oh, y'all are button pressers.
Yes.
Yup. But we absolutely know what buttons to press with your mate, especially the ones we've been with long term.
You sure do. And when you press those buttons, then you should know your mate's response to that button push. Because again, you may have one that's, okay, I'm gonna come back and hit you. But you're doing it because you're just trying to prove a point. You try to say, oh, you're gonna one up me, I'm gonna one up you. But then there's one you press, and that you may end up on the floor. You may end up in a Mike Tyson fight because they just gonna get violent.
Yeah.
And it's like when that happens, you need to not walk, run out that relationship.
Well, you should have been ran out of that relationship though, because if you're willing to excite your mate to that point, and it's the point that you know you're going to take them there,
Yes.
you should run your ass up out of that relationship. You're toxic also.
Yes, and obviously something horrible in your upbringing, something went horribly wrong for you to be at that point where you want to press buttons to get that kind of reaction. Most people I know don't want to get. Who the hell? Nobody wants nobody to touch anybody. Nobody wants to. I'm gonna say something. See if he punched me in the face. Or I'm saying she slapped the hell out of me. You're not gonna do that because again, you ain't trying to go there. You don't want to. Never want to go there unless your life is in jeopardy. Now she got a gun on you. Things you gotta do. But outside of those normal conversations, why'd you want to choke her?
Yeah.
Why you want to put hands on her? Why you want to bruise her? Why you want to dominate her? Just to feel you're powerful because you can't deal with your emotions. You can't handle what she says to you. She can control you that bad. You can't control yourself. Someone else can control you and your emotions that bad.
I think that's ultimately the situation if you're standing in the mirror and you're being honest with yourself. Is that you have to stand there and understand that you gave someone control over you.
Control.
And you are okay with that.
Yes.
As a man.
Yes.
You gave someone control over yourself and you allowed that person to kind of manipulate you into doing whatever, you wanted to let loose to do.
Wow, that is bad because now that just tells me that if she can do that, anybody can do that. You're now a loose cannon because that means at work.
Not anybody, but certain people. So not everybody at work gonna get to you, but one or two people gonna always get to you at work.
That's true,
right?
And you're waiting for them. For them to
so ultimately, are you the guy who keeps giving his keys away and letting someone else drive your car? Because what type of man would do that? Just letting anybody drive your car? What? Where they do that at?
That's pretty goddamn bad right there. But it happens. It happens all the time. And it starts young. It starts young. And all of a sudden, you're giving your keys away. And all of a sudden, they're controlling you. And now you got the poor young lady who may come from such a dysfunctional background. She may have said, damn, he touched me. He must love me because she may have seen her mama get her ass whipped on a regular basis by different dudes. And her mama never left. Her mama stayed there. Her mama, she took the ass whipping and kept coming back. So, and she kept saying, I do love him though. Because every time you ask her, Mom, why you keep staying with him? I love him. He's just, Then all of a sudden she starts saying, I must have pushed his buttons. I must have said something to him that made him mad. Mom, all you said, what you want? You want spaghetti or chicken? What you want for dinner? And then he punched you in your eye. Well, you know what? I should have known he wanted chicken. So now you justifying the ass whipping.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
now as a woman, a little girl, young woman, you're like, okay, if he touched me, I bought it myself.
That impression. That which
impression
was impressed on
is
you.
normal. Now that normalcy can get you killed because that guy hit you hard enough, because now they're just gonna shoot you. Before you could probably get choked out. You may still get choked out now, but now they'll shoot you.
Yeah. The violence level does raise really high. Like it gets really high up there. It was the one situation, and it was actually local to us, where the three people, it was 2 women and 1 guy. The one guy, and this is extreme, but it was local, right? The one guy had a ex-wife. He had 2 children by the ex-wife, and he had a pregnant girlfriend that he had resided with.
Wow.
And he was in a custody visitation situation, right? And he was upset about the visitations for whatever reason. And I'm going to assume he was upset about a lot of other things that happened in the relationship and over the last, let's call it 3 years. Even though he had a new girlfriend, and even though that young lady was pregnant, he still was very angry about the custody, about the kids, about the ex-wife. He was just angry, and it looked like he was torn and angry in so many different directions. And he basically went on Facebook Live, and he vented about his anger and told women that you shouldn't play with men and their kids because shit like this happens.
Wow.
He killed the girlfriend in the house, left her there, got in the car with the 2 younger kids in the back seat, right? Were we able to see the kids in the video? Mind you, I think most of this was on Facebook Live.
Wow.
Went to the wife's house where the 2 children reside and knocked on the door. And when she knocked on the door, executed her as well.
What? God damn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Local.
Wow.
Local.
That's crazy.
But that he was hurt
Wow.
and emotionally torn all over the place.
So, because he was pissed off and hurt, he done basically, the ripple effect is you done kill 2 women, 2 kids now don't have any parents, and you're going to jail forever.
Did he kill himself?
so
Hopefully
then
he
he
killed
did the
himself.
pump way out. So then he just shot
but like
himself.
just start there though. Like I don't want to like promote that, but just don't kill everybody else and yourself. Just knock yourself off.
Here's the thing: if you're that fucking miserable, if your life is gone to shit in a hell in a handbasket, just take some pills. Just don't fuck up. Don't go in and shoot your fucking head off because that means somebody got cleaned up after that shit. Somebody got cleaned their brain matter and all that shit out. And just take some pills and go the fuck to sleep. But don't go out there and for the babies, you ain't given an opportunity to live a life. First of all, if they had survived, you'd kill the mothers. Your goofy ass going to jail forever if you didn't kill yourself.
But remember that we like our daddies. Dad, just stay here. Just stay here, Dad. And keep Mom, too. Because everything that ultimately we're going through is temporary.
Every single thing is temporary. Yes.
Yeah,
Say
so
that
the
again.
emotions that feel unsettled, that hurt, that feels so just hurt, that anger that is just, it's raging you.
Yes.
It's not going to last forever.
No.
I think that ultimately that's what that situation, you could see the pain on that man. You could see the emotions, the erraticism going on within him, that fight within him. And it was just like, really, how many people did he have to talk about what he was really, really going through?
Exactly.
How many people knew exactly where his heart truly was at? And I don't want to be this type of person, but what if he probably didn't even want that new girlfriend with that baby. like that. It was
You
probably
never
one
know.
of those situations where that's how he was just kind of recovering from dealing with the ex-wife and him splitting up, right? Maybe what if he was just still hurt with and dealing with the breakup of the
Yes.
marriage? But in today's society, you have to create, that stigma that you're okay and you've moved on, because perhaps she moved on, right?
Yep,
And
you
so
have to.
now, you have to just kind of keep up,
Yep.
and you're not actually able to say I'm hurt, and that you can be hurt for a long time. Let's keep it real.
Yes,
Like
you
a
can.
lot of us want to talk about getting over stuff, and you know how Unc mentioned, well, you still tripping over old girl. Yeah, yeah. And if it's your wife, you could trip off of her for a long
For a
time.
very long time.
And so, just thinking of what we said today, and seeing such an extreme situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have to look how we have to look for how we live for today,
Yes.
but you're also living in how you feel. And nothing can control, how you feel.
No.
You can't just get over something if you don't know how. And who teaches you how to get over a divorce?
Who teaches you?
Yeah. Like in your, because where's the course book at? I'm quite sure if you go on Amazon, there's some self-help books on there, but literally within inside of your family and within your friends,
Yep.
within your peer group, who's really having that conversation about healing and how to get over these, crazy
Traumatic
hurts.
experiences.
Yeah.
Nobody. I mean, that goes
No.
back with violence, and when you're looking at grief, and see, these are all emotions that everyone living will have to deal with
Yes.
at some point.
Yes. Because what you are, you're hurt.
Yep.
And then you take a hurt and you don't know if that hurt is going to enter into something that's more hurtful, or if you're going to figure out how to settle yourself and figure out what to do next.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes. And again, when you don't have that coping mechanism, you just resort back to things that is easy, things you've seen before. It may not be helpful,
Right.
but that's all you know.
Right.
And to say that you could do better, and you hear this, all they had to do is this and this. If someone doesn't know about this, and this, then they can't do it. Just because you know, don't mean everyone else know.
That's right.
So that means that we, as a society, need to make sure that we let people know if you have gone through some things, call this number. If you don't have a church, you don't have friends, you don't have anybody around you to tell you right, because you're going and you're spinning in your head, you should be able to call someone or go somewhere, so at least somebody can say, hey, come on now, you're going through the emotion, let's talk about what's going on, because it's a temporary thing.
Yes. I'm going to do you one better than that. Talk to somebody who you normally would talk to, and just ask them for their cup of tea. Ask them how they doing. Ask them how they're surviving. Just ask them to talk about them. Sometimes the stuff that you're going through, you'll hear it in somebody else's story.
True.
And for women, a lot of times, we feel more inclined to give more of our tea up to the person who's giving us some of theirs. That's how we kind of are establishing that trust, right?
Okay.
I can't toss your information out there, right? If you have mine, right?
That's
It's
true.
kind of like gang stuff, right?
Yep.
Something at the same time, we go do violence together.
No,
I can't
no,
give you my
no.
tea if you don't give me a little bit of yours.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to kind of open up a conversation, if you have nobody to talk to, but you have people that you know that you maybe are still engaging in that superficial relationship with, and you don't have to talk to them about anything negative going on in their life, right?
Yeah.
It can be something very positive, or how you get to where you got to in your job, or just ask them about anything in their past or anything about what they're doing now. Just talk.
Just talk.
Get away from superficial stuff, though. Open it up just a little bit more. Start there.
And that would go a long way but that's also understanding that you can feel comfortable talking about what you're going through. So if you got this is you brought up and you no one let you express your emotions because it's almost like they discount your emotion. Like you should suck it up. You be all right.
Yeah.
Growing up, that's how we were basically taught. Suck it up. You ain't got no problems. Because to them it's like, oh, you got a roof over your head, food in your mouth. You ain't got no problems. But understand, I do have emotion. Do have emotions. I do have some things that are hurting inside that I do want to talk to somebody about and not get judged on it.
Yes.
I don't want to be judged. I just want you to listen. And a lot of people don't want to listen. You just want to talk. You just want to tell people. 9 times out of 10, people just want you to listen to them. They don't want your suggestion. They don't want your input. They just want to talk to you.
Yep.
And if you sit back, shut the hell up, and listen to them, and hold, not just taking bits and pieces and giving what you think they want. Sit down in its entirety, listen to everything they're talking about, and give them some constructive information. You don't change a person's life that you now have a forever friend. You have a forever partner.
Absolutely.
Because they said, you took the time to listen to me.
Yep.
And that's what doesn't happen nowadays when it comes to kids. I ain't got time to listen to you. What you got? What's your problem?
Yeah. But if you don't have that person to listen to you, that's why you start off by listening to someone else. That's why I said pick up the phone to whoever you've been talking to and start off the conversation and ask them about them. Listen about them. Hear them out first.
And that's the other thing. You want to listen. Call somebody and say, "Hey, what's going on with you?" I know if I hear from a Bama, all the time I hear from that Bama is when they want something from me.
Yeah. Or when they need to vent to you only. They don't call and check up to see how you doing. They just call you like,
I got problems.
Let me tell you what happened today. No, let me tell you what happened today in my world. Yes.
And when you look at that phone, it's like, you know it ain't nothing but this band was trying to talk to me and take some of my time.
Time stealing on me.
But if I ever call you up, you caught me on a bad moment.
Yep.
Well, every time you call me, it's never bad. I set aside what I need to do to listen to you. So then you have to realize, do I need to talk to that person? Is that person even worth even having my phone? That when they come up, it should be just a number coming up. It shouldn't be a name associated with it. Or do not talk should be on it, attached to that person's name. Because at that point, you can weed out those people who really in it for themselves and not for you.
Yep.
And
who are superficial.
Very superficial.
It just takes us right back to who are superficial. So that's how you weed it out. I think that right there is a really good place to start.
Yes.
It's just opening up and having someone or identifying someone to start having these conversations with.
Yes.
So that we don't have emotions that are pent up inside of us.
Yes.
And
that's great.
Yeah.
Because the other thing, not to cut you off, is women have that. Girls have that. For boys and men, we need to find somebody that you can trust, that you can at least ask the question. Like,
you do.
I'm going through this, and not a knucklehead. And the kids know they're knuckleheads. When you got that uncle or that father.
They know that uncle that's silly, the dad who's silly. They know.
I don't want to talk to him. I want to talk to somebody that has some sense. Someone that can sit there and really, I can talk to, and they take it in, and they give me their view of what I should do. Because again, they're not going to have the answer, but it's going to make me look at things differently.
Yep.
So that gives me an opportunity to say, okay, I look at it this way because that's all I had, but now this person is allowing me to think of it this way. And keep that person, because that's the kind of person that you're going to need down the road. Everyone needs that person or persons
that's sensible.
That's going to give you that sensible stuff. You don't know crazy. Crazy always going to be there. But just search for that, because that will avoid a lot of situations going forward. Because if you don't do that, because if you ask your peers, if your peers grew up the same way you grew up, it's like the blind asking the blind.
Absolutely.
So you can't count on them. You got to count on somebody who can really, really help you.
Help and lead you in a certain direction.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You have to, because again, if you don't do that, guarantee you're going to be in a world of hurt, unnecessary hurt, mind you, all because you couldn't handle your emotions, all because you couldn't step outside yourself and say, okay, be quiet for a moment, stand still, and don't just react to it. So what's going on with this, and take your emotions out of it, which is men, we have to learn how to control the emotions and to really discuss our emotions.
Absolutely.
Because if we don't discuss it, if we don't control it, you see we have right here where you can shoot somebody and not think twice about it. You can choke a woman out and not think twice about it. You can shoot a woman.
Again, that's an extreme situation.
Very extreme.
A lot of the women have to live with, the violence that played out on them every day.
And the violence not only affects them, if they have kids,
Mm-hmm.
now it affects the babies. So now the babies think that's normal because she's in a situation she can't get out of, or she chooses not to get out. Whatever
Whatever the situation is, you're still in it or was in it. Even if you got out of it, right?
You're still in
you
it.
still were in it.
Yes.
And it's still, it don't feel good to you walk with that bit of baggage with you, right?
Oh my God! No.
I think today we're not harping on the men.
No.
We're just highlighting this situation as a means to educate and kind of move forward from here, right?
Yes.
But the
yes.
women are definitely, we'll put them right back in the hot chair on the next go around.
Yes.
Yeah, I think.
Yes.
But
This time we had to
definitely
talk about the guys
today,
because
yeah.
it's one of those things that nobody want to talk about.
Uh-huh.
It's one of those things. Well, God, boys will be boys.
Nah.
You hear that? Boys will be boys.
We're going to take our boys to men. We're going to hold them accountable.
Thank
and we're
you.
going to elevate together.
We're going to elevate them and make them better.
Yeah.
And again, it's about every day choosing to be better.
It is.
And you have to take that opportunity at that moment and say, I want to change what I'm doing, and I'm gonna have to seek help. Mm-hmm. And you, as a guy, you may have to cry about it. It's emotional. It ain't, well, I ain't gonna cry about it. It hurt me like I don't know what it's like somebody stabbed me in my heart. Cry about it.
Yeah.
But make sure you're crying to the right person. Make sure you're somebody who's empathetic enough to understand. Hey, this guy hurt. He ain't no sucker. He ain't no wimp because he crying. He's feeling his emotion. Let's put this in perspective, so that way, when down the road something happens, you know how to handle it better. You don't
Absolutely.
have to lash out anymore.
Absolutely.
Girl, you know what? These conversations just go on. And today, I'm going to end it here. Men, learn your emotions. Get in touch with your emotions. It doesn't make you a sucker. It makes you human. And you are human. And once you realize you're human and you really willing to do the work, you'll find out your life is going to turn 180 degrees. And with that, we're going to conclude today's episode of On the Mic with the M.
And team.
You like this episode? You like all the other episodes? Hit that like and subscribe button. Come see your boy and your girl. Peace.